Perfect. Come here. All right, good way to start it off. Today we're doing something that's kind of fun, and everybody honestly should try it at some point while they're fishing. We're pre-fishing for a tournament, so it's a nice little girl. We'll get her back. And what I'm going to go through today is kind of what I like to do when I'm pre-fishing for a tournament, and some of the tips and tricks that I use when I'm looking to find these fish and get ready for a tournament. Now obviously you got a lot of things to worry about. You know, you want to try to fish during tournament hours and try to get weather that's going to be about the same, but all that is really hard to, you can't really predict the weather that well. So these tips and tricks are built to give you different options when you go in to fish a tournament. So we're going to go through a few of them today. We're going to catch some nice bass. Oh, got off. It's all right, that happens. Now what we kind of are doing here is it's early summer right now. So these fish are done with the spawn, they've moved out, and they're focusing on forage. They're focusing on minnows right now. Minnows and bait fish. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to mimic them somewhat with color, but mimicking the forage really isn't that big of a deal this time of year. It's more about presentation and location. Now what I've done is the spawning grounds are up on the shoreline ahead of me here, and these fish really don't move a lot after spawning. They usually will drop off into the first good weed beds, and they'll just kind of chill, hang out, and they'll kind of school up a little bit. So when you find these fish this time of year, stick on that spot, because there's going to be a lot of fish around that area. Just a matter of weeding them out. But what I started with here is this is just a Texas rig tube. Really simple to fish. It's got a 3/8 ounce slip sinker with a 5/0 worm hook and a tube on it, rigged up weedless. And these are super easy to fish. They're really weedless to fish. And in this shallower water, we're in 10 foot here. I can see the pockets in the weeds, and that's what I'm doing with this bait, is just dropping it in these pockets. And those fish are just sitting down in the bottom, just waiting for something to come by. I gotta get out there and get another one. Just a little guy, but I'll take him. Perfect. Nice little bass. Now most of the day I've been using this tube because it's like I said, it's early summer. There's some fish that are done with their post-spawn routine, and other fish are just kind of getting into it and that. So I've been going for this little slower routine, slower pattern. But some of the other options you can use, you know, this is obviously finesse. You're going to find weed beds and pockets where you know there's fish. That's where you're going to fish something like this. Some of the other options you have would be aggressive tactics, such as this rattle bait. It's really loud, you can attract fish, you can cover a lot of water. Spinner bait is always a good choice. Any time of year you can fish them slow, fast, jig them, anything you want. You can really cover water with them. And then swim baits. A lot of guys don't really use these. They see these for northern pike baits and that, but these can be really good search baits for largemouth and smallmouth. And you just want to make sure you keep in mind that these fish, they're together, but they're going to be spread out between groups of fish. So you're going to have to fish 4 or 5 spots that look good before you really find a school of them and start getting into them. So use some of those lures and find those weed beds, find those rocky shorelines about mid-depth, and you're going to get a lot more bass. Another one falls to the tube. Come here, big girl. Oh! Perfect fish. That's a perfect way to end it for the day. I'm telling you guys, when you're pre-fishing for tournaments, it's important to try to get as prepared as possible and find as many spots with nice sized fish on it as you can. We'll get her back That fish was on the spinner bait, great search bait. So's the rattle trap, so's the swim bait. And remember, if you find a pot of them and you catch one or two, slow down. Get that finesse lure out there. Get a bunch of fish. Get your 5 fish. Get your limit in the boat. Pick through them after. And always pay attention to your tournament rules, you know, whether you got slot limits or not. But the main thing is tournaments make you better anglers. They give you a little competition, and they really get you going on where to find fish and the thing. So grab some nice bass baits, get out there, do a little pre-fishing, get confident, and go win some money. You guys have a good one. We'll see you next week.